Honorable Mlotshwa. Honorable Mlotshwa.
Thank you, Madam President, for the recognition. Madam President, I rise today to contribute to the motion introduced by the Honorable Senator Chief Nochombo on the preservation of traditional practices and culture. I do so in full support, but also to extend and contextualize the discussion by specifically highlighting the systematic cultural marginalization faced by the Ndebele-speaking communities in Zimbabwe. As someone with deep ties to Matabeleland, I feel compelled to speak on behalf of the numerous people whose cultural and linguistic rights continue to be sidelined. Madam President, before I continue with my debate, allow me to introduce myself and reintroduce myself to really show how cultural and how deep my roots are in terms of culture. Madam President, mina nginguNonhlanhla Mlotshwa, ozalwa nguRay Mlotshwa. uRay ezalwa nguSamuel Mlotshwa. uSamuel ezalwa nguMasigwa Mlotshwa. uMasigwa ezalwa nguMacebo. uMacebo ezalwa nguYotshwana. uYotshwana ezalwa nguManatha. Ngingumahlambanzimane, umthukwapi. Usichence esibafazi abaluthuli. Umzingelo ongabuyize, engabuyaze, induku zabe zaphukile. Ngingundema kaLufukazi. Ngingumahlabangadli kudla umkhonto. Madam President, it is important to recall that the Ndebele nation, known collectively as Amahlabezulu or Umthwakazi, is a rich tapestry of communities, including the Kalanga, Sotho, Tonga, and the Venda people. These groups coincide under King Mzilikazi in the 19th century and have sustained a distinctive cultural identity for nearly 2 centuries. IsiNdebele has been a living language of instruction, governance, storytelling, and socialization throughout Matabeleland North, Matabeleland South, Bulawayo, and parts of Midlands. Yet, despite this historical presence, the language and its associated culture are increasingly under threat. Madam President, we cannot deny that the reality on the ground. There are acute shortages of isiNdebele-speaking teachers of foundational learning levels in many rural areas across Matabeleland. Children are taught by individuals who cannot communicate with them in their mother language, including psychological developmental toll that takes on a child. And add to this outdated and inappropriate learning materials that often reflect a mono-ethnic view of Zimbabwe's history and identity. These are not just inconveniences, they are deep structural inequities. Beyond education, the public erasure of isiNdebele is evident. Government signia, official communication, and state media are dominated by Shona and English. Meanwhile, historical landmarks such as Gadade, the site of significant battle in the Ndebele resistance, remain neglected. Names like Mkwati Ncube are scarcely mentioned in the national history narratives. Yet we regularly commemorate other historical figures and events. Why the imbalance? Madam President, I must also raise a cultural and spiritual concern, the lack of recognition for the Ndebele kingship. It is contradictory and culturally disrespectful to acknowledge Izinduna chiefs without formally recognizing the king they represent. This undermines not only traditional leadership structure, but very foundation of the Ndebele identity. As the mover rightly stated, cultural preservation includes the preservation of institutional heritage. I must emphasize that the Ndebele custom, in the Ndebele custom, izinduna ngezenkosi. The chiefs belong to the king. They do not exist in isolation, nor do they wield authority on their own accord. Their very legitimacy their moral and spiritual mandate is derived from serving under Inkosi. By recognizing Izinduna without recognizing the king, we have effectively amputated the Ndebele traditional structure. This is not only unconstitutional in the spirit, but a direct violation of a cultural order handed down through generations. Madam President, it is akin to recognizing a cabinet without a president, or a council without a mayor, or a traditional leadership system are hierarchical and sacred. The king is not a decorative figure. He is a custodian of history, culture, justice, and unity among the people. Without the king, Izinduna are left vulnerable. Their decisions lack final authority, and the people are left with an incomplete chain of a cultural command. Madam President, we need to restore order by restoring the kingship, not for pomp, but for functionality. A king provides a center of gravity, a unifying force, and a fountain of cultural wisdom. Recognizing the Ndebele king is not about elevating one group or another. It is about fulfilling a constitutional obligation to honor all traditional institutions equally and to treat all cultures with dignity and respect. I therefore support the motion and wish to propose that the Ministry of Sports, Recreation and Culture, in collaboration with the Ministries of Primary and Secondary Education and of Information and Publicity and Broadcasting Services, urgently consider the following. 1. Prioritize recruitment of isiNdebele speaking teachers at ECD and primary level. 2. Revise the national curriculum to include Ndebele authored literature, folklore, and historical content. 3. Officially declare King Mzilikazi Day a national holiday and commemorate sites as Gadade. 4. Recognize the Ndebele kingship formally within the traditional leadership structure. 5. Establish adequately resourced cultural centers across Matabeleland to facilitate preservation and transmission of heritage. 6. Ensure equitable isiNdebele representation across national media platforms and commission inclusive heritage programming. In conclusion, Madam President, cultural preservation is not an ethnic matter. It is a national imperative. A nation that neglects its diverse identities cannot claim to be united. Let us embrace all of the colors of our Zimbabwean cultural palette. Let us give full equal expression to every language and tradition in our land. Let us vote not with our hands but with our conscience. I thank you, Madam President.
Recognize honorably.